So I'm on F123 and I'm going to do the online thing, a AI Grand Prix, and I'm going to make a custom one. So yeah, I'm just going to do the settings. So I'm going to do short races because there's quite a few ones, so very short, 5 laps. And then rules and flags on, so regular, I'm going to do on. And then week and tyre allowance. I wish you could do a custom one, not just like this, but for example, use the slots, right? And essentially, with all the tyres you've got, just essentially do it. So, yeah. For example, I could have 2 hards, 2 mediums, 2 soft. That could be quite a good one. But then at the same time, you would probably want, you know, I just don't think 6 is enough, quite frankly. So, you know. So yeah, assists. Simulation. So I'm going to do unlimited, because if I make too many mistakes, I won't be able to flash back and I might get out. So yeah.
With the drivers currently lining up on the...
So yeah.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for...
I need to get a best launch I possibly can. So that was a relatively poor launch. Verstappen's going to be on the inside, but I'm just going to be able to go... Yeah, so I've got to remember damage is on, unfortunately for me. So, yeah. How I'm braking on the line and it's like, it's still like not working, if you know what I mean. And the tyres are definitely warmed up. I don't know why, but you know, this is certainly a difficult track to master in my opinion, but you know, it can be good and rewarding when you do perfect it in my opinion. So, you know, it's kind of like, I'm not, you know, so far I haven't used too many flashbacks, which is actually good, to be fair.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
Nice Stroll. It's nice to see Stroll has managed to get past them. If Piastri manages to pass Verstappen and then a bloke behind PS3 overtakes Verstappen, I would actually be quite happy, to be fair. You know, it is difficult to send it through these corners because, it's such a tight track. You really cannot carry speed. You're basically going, basically 50 miles an hour through the corners, and it's absolutely ridiculous. I was going a little bit more through than 50, but yeah, not much more. And this is where I need to get the best line I possibly can because, yeah. Now that means that I can just about take it flat out. So this is where I'm going to be absolutely demolished on the straights. Look at how much they're gaining on me. It's absolutely ridiculous. It really is. This is only a 5-lap race, so I've just got to hold them up. I've got to make the most of my braking, I would say. I've got to try my best to send it through braking zones to really gain that extra speed through the corners to then get the best exit I can. As you can see, I gained it there, but, they're still rapidly gaining on me, and it's kind of really unfair in my opinion. It says equal car performance, but it's just like, it's not that equal whatsoever. It really isn't. It will probably be about the same in my opinion without it on. And that's just what it feels like because, yeah. I need to get the gap up to at least a second in my opinion to be safe on the main straight. So, it's kind of difficult because believe me, I am trying my absolute best, but, at the end of the day, not everyone's going to win. I at least want to be able to finish top 5 by the end of a race because it is, at the end of the day, it's only a 5-lap race. So if it was like a full race and they had this issue where they're just far quicker than me on the straights, it will be absolutely ridiculous. It really would. I would probably be lapped, quite frankly. So, not everyone's going to go up persistent, So, it's kind of trying to get the best drivers you can on your team. So, yeah. This is going to be a bit of a problem, isn't it? I've braked just a tiny bit too late.
Okay, we've been given a time penalty. It will go against our...
I need to do that more cleanly. I need to use a bit less of it. Phew. I'm just about managed to do it. That is the hardest thing. That is easily the hardest corner on the track, without a doubt. That is the slowest corner on the track. Debatably, in my opinion, slower than the Monaco hairpin, quite frankly. So, through here, I actually kind of gap them a tiny bit.
Happened? Let me know you're okay.
It's now down to me to, go through it as best as I can, Because, right, it's just a sort of corner that is difficult to master every single time, in my opinion. Because, you're going through it at quite high speed, so it's easy just to slip a tad bit wide like that. Oh my goodness, I'm trying to turn in so difficultly, but it's so difficult because, like, it feels difficult, impossible for me to blooming, you know, do it. But I've just got to try and work it out. You know, like I can't work out. I need to replay further back. I'm kind of screwed here, you know. I'm actually kind of screwed. Now we're obviously gonna do it even easier. Now I'm gonna have to try and send it. Now I've got it
Okay,
back.
DRS is now available.
But you can't do it. You need to allow me space to rejoin the track, for God's sake. You know, it's kind of like oh my god, you need to allow me bloody space to rejoin the track. It's so annoying. EA doesn't understand basics space allow. He really doesn't. You know, Perez has now got the upper hand on me because he's got fastest lap. He's the man that has the pace on me, you know? He's about a second quicker than me. Now he's dropped down. So, you know, if he's able to get it, he will potentially get back past me. They're constantly battling, so it's kind of good for me because I just need to try and take on that fighting on them and just drive away pretty much. But as you can see, they gained 2 attempts on me. That's not too much, but other times it just seems like it's
Are you
just
okay?
not
That was a
equal, it
nasty
feels like.
hit. Turn the engine off and wait for the marshals.
At the end of the day, the team can only give the drivers the best car they can, and they've got to work on upgrades throughout the season. You know, like for example, the stock car, right? You know, they've essentially got to work out, they've got to get the best car they can for the first race, you know. Because, you know, the first and last race is definitely the most important races in my opinion. Because, you know, if you do terribly in your first race, you might really struggle to get it. You know, for example, if you are very close competitors, you're a second fastest car, your opponent is a third fastest car, right? And, you know, you're kind of trying to get the best car for your team. You know, your mechanics have definitely worked very hard to gain the best car for the team, right? And essentially what's happening is you're the second fastest car, but your opponent's the third fastest car, you know. And what's happened?
Okay, so we're leading our teammate by 4.2 seconds.
And you have a terrible start to your first race, right? Your team drivers finish 11th and 7th, and your opponents finish, for example, 3rd and 5th. They're already going to have significantly more points than you in that first race. If it's something like your opponents finish 2nd and 5th and your opponents finish 3rd and 4th, you're going to be a lot closer. But because one of your drivers finished out of the top 10, you're essentially going to be kind of almost stuck in a way, because you're going to have this problem that's going to happen where you're going to be so far behind. If you have a bad mid performance the second round, you might not be able to catch back up by the 5th round, if you get what I'm trying to say. So then when it gets near the end, you just need to pray they have an absolute terrible mess in the races and that they both finish out of the top 10 pretty much, you know. Like for example, Mexico was a good example of that. Verstappen got a 20-second time penalty, which I don't think is enough. I think personally he should have been easily disqualified from a race, quite frankly, easily. So, you know.
Wow, that was a heck of an impact. Let me know you're okay.
If it didn't happen like that in real life, there would certainly be a safety car, you know.
Okay, final lap. Let's go. Final lap.
So I'll probably make this a 6-part series where I do one race every episode. So, yeah. It's probably possible to get just over 100 points if you get good enough results, but no, not possible for 200. So, you know. Personally, I feel like, right, what F1 I feel like they need to do, right, is essentially what they need to do is replace some of the tracks for different tracks, or for example, for a change for a couple years, right, get rid of Bahrain and add another track twice in the calendar, right, because then if someone has a poor race in the first run, they can have a chance at beating their rival that they lost to. For example, let's say they have, for example, Mexico twice, right? If, for example, Verstappen, Hamilton, right, or someone that got beaten by Verstappen very closely could try and beat Verstappen a second Mexico round in a year.
Drive. That's just fantastic. Amazing. You deserved that race win. Well done, mate.
It's never an easy race here in Azerbaijan. And I can... So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Well, for me, it's got to be Lewis Hamilton. The multiple world champion may be the boring choice at this point, but you can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
Well, what an end to another fantastic weekend of racing. Thanks to everyone who joined us, and we'll see you for the next one.
So yeah, peace out and bye guys.